It is a big galaxy, but the Force ties it all together. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 ways all the Star Wars TV shows connect. For this list, we'll be looking at the various narrative threads, plot elements, objects, and characters that create a sense of cohesion between the various Star Wars television series, as well as the films. Please note, we're only including shows that are officially canon, so don't expect to see any LEGO Star Wars or Genndy Tartakovsky's Star Wars Clone Wars. Number 10. Filling in the gaps.
The Republic fleet were outgunned.
The Star Wars films are the pillars of the franchise, but as the timeline grows, fans have ever more questions about the time between the films. Thankfully, the long-format episodic nature of TV allows creators to really flesh out the galaxy far, far away. Set between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars: The Clone Wars takes a deep dive into its titular conflict and the many players involved. Star Wars Rebels shed some welcome light on the state of the galaxy in the lead-up to A New Hope.
I'm very fond of these droids.
Then I'm glad we could return them.
The Mandalorian reveals life on the Outer Rim between the fall of the Empire and the rise of the First Order. And Resistance precedes and overlaps with the events of the sequel trilogy.
Can you believe this kid, BB-8?
Number 9. C-3PO and R2-D2.
We have been in the most absurd situations I could never compute.
Jedis come and go, but these droids are a near constant presence in the franchise. C-3PO and R2-D2 were logical staples of the Clone Wars animated series, but more surprisingly, they were also central to the Star Wars Rebels episode Droids in Distress.
Trust an astromech to ruin everything. Secret mission. What secret mission?
R2 later popped up again in the Season 2 episode Blood Sisters. C-3PO, for his part, managed to land himself a voice cameo in the pilot episode of Resistance. Leia Organa has also made appearances in both the aforementioned series. It's a small galaxy after all. Given the plot and setting of The Mandalorian, it seems unlikely that they'll have a cameo. But then again, they do have a knack for popping up where you'd least expect them.
Otto, you should know I have total confidence in your skills as a pilot, provided you can avoid these Star Cruisers.
Number 8. Obi-Wan, Allies and Enemies.
Master Yoda, I gave Qui-Gon my word.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's story spans more films and series than most. He got plenty of screen time in the prequel trilogy, but the Clone Wars animated series invited us to get to know him more personally, even giving him his own love story.
Satine, this is hardly the time or place for... All right. Had you said the word, I would have left the Jedi Order.
That is touching.
Later, towards the end of the show, his trademark sense of humor is all but gone. He's exhausted.
The Council will decide what our course of action will be.
It's the sort of development that requires seasons worth of content to achieve. Among the few Jedi to survive the Great Jedi Purge, Obi-Wan is largely absent from Rebels, instead being relegated to Tatooine.
You're in the wrong place, Ezra Bridger.
Master? Master Kenobi?
I am, and when you have your strength, I will help you on your way.
But in an episode that felt like a real gift to fans, Rebels brought Obi-Wan back to conclude a story that began in The Phantom Menace. Number 7. Captain Rex.
It would help if you eased their minds.
The Galactic Republic uses clones instead of droids, but it wasn't until the Clone Wars animated series that they felt like real people. Throughout the show, we actually get to know a number of individual clone troopers. And wouldn't you know it, they have their own personalities.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Of the various memorable clones, Rex is the one who stands out most, especially when it comes to creating a sense of continuity. He's a reliable commanding officer under Anakin, and a friend to both the Jedi and his Padawan throughout the Clone Wars. We also get to catch up with him in Star Wars Rebels.
War was never dull. The general I fought with was among the greatest of the Jedi. I trusted him with my life more times than I can count.
Best of all, the Rebels' finale epilogue even places him in Return of the Jedi. Number 6. Mandalorian History and Culture.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Who could have predicted that a character with mere minutes of screen time in the original Star Wars trilogy would make such an impact? With his distinctive armor, Boba Fett inspired the development of a unique and complex warrior civilization.
For generations, my ancestors fought proudly as warriors against the Jedi. Now, that woman tarnishes the very name Mandalorian.
There isn't much room to get into the history and culture of the Mandalorians in the films, but the Clone Wars dedicated numerous multi-episode arcs to them, even exploring the historic Siege of Mandalore, the same battle that our protagonist in The Mandalorian lived through. In Star Wars Rebels, Mandalorian warrior Sabine Wren is a central character.
That might be the Mandalorian way, but it's not my way. Not anymore.
Of course, with Star Wars' first live-action series, we're now getting even more insight into this diverse group's culture and creed.
Our secrecy is our survival. Our survival is our strength.
Number 5, Darth Maul.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
There's no keeping a fan-favorite character down. Though he was bisected in The Phantom Menace, this breakout dark side Force user got a new lease on life in Star Wars The Clone Wars.
He lives in the Outer Rim, in exile.
It took him from supporting villain to one of the franchise's most complex. Not only did we learn about Maul's backstory in The Clone Wars, but he also got a brother, Savage Opress.
Always two there are, my brother. A master and an apprentice. And you are the apprentice.
After serving as a major wildcard throughout that galactic conflict, Maul returns in Star Wars Rebels older, wiser, but no less dangerous. In fact, his plotting in Rebels is arguably more devious than ever. After adding even more layers to his character, Rebels brings Maul's epic story to a fitting conclusion.
Perhaps you are protecting something. No, protecting someone.
Number 4, the Darksaber. The first season of The Mandalorian wasn't short on big moments, but it saved one of its very best for last. While the Darksaber might not mean much to viewers who've only ever watched the films, it's a highly coveted item within the Star Wars universe.
Legend tells that it was created over 1,000 years ago by Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian ever inducted into the Jedi Order. After his passing, the Jedi kept the saber in their temple. That was until members of House Vizsla snuck in and liberated it.
First introduced in the Clone Wars episode The Mandalore Plot, this ancient and utterly unique lightsaber was created by the first Mandalorian to become a Jedi. It's seen as a weapon of great symbolic power to the Mandalorian people, and has changed hands multiple times throughout the various shows. After being wielded by Pre Vizsla, Maul, Sabine Wren, and later Bo-Katan Kryze, it somehow wound up in the hands of Moff Gideon, as revealed in The Mandalorian. Number 3, From Rebellion to Resistance.
With the Resistance, yeah. I am with the Resistance.
When The Force Awakens was released in 2015, you may have found yourself asking, why the name change? Well, the Rebel Alliance existed to overthrow the Empire and establish a new republic, and however short-lived it may have been, they succeeded.
Hello, Poe Dameron. It has been a lengthy amount of time since I last encountered you.
The Resistance, founded by Leia Organa, came together in the face of the New Republic's ambivalence towards the First Order. The organizations might seem similar in purpose, but the Rebels and Resistance shows help to flesh out the history of the respective groups and clarify how they differ from one another.
This day has been a long time coming. Hopefully we can finally deal a blow to the Empire and show the rest of the galaxy what we're capable of.
In Rebels, we see how disparate groups come together to form the Alliance, while Resistance explores the inner workings of the organization that fought back against the First Order. Number 2, Anakin's arc.
I shouldn't. Do it.
Of the many criticisms leveled against the uneven prequel trilogy, Anakin's fall to the dark side is among the most universally frustrating. The character feels, in general, underdeveloped, but his transformation into Darth Vader in particular feels rushed and somewhat unnatural. Thankfully, the Clone Wars animated series is given ample opportunity to flesh it out, and provide far more insight into his decline. It also gives us more time to get to know Anakin, making his eventual fall all the more devastating.
If it was up to me, I would kill you right here!
Like Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, Darth Vader also resurfaces in Rebels. His face-off with his old Padawan makes for one of the character's most emotionally charged moments to date, animated or otherwise.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Anakin.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Ahsoka.
I'm at your service, Master Kenobi, but I'm afraid I've actually been assigned to Master Skywalker.
What? No. There must be some mistake.
A character created for the Clone Wars animated series, Ahsoka Tano has proven hugely popular. While she may have rubbed some fans the wrong way when she debuted as Anakin's immature young Padawan, she's now a fan favorite and arguably the glue that holds Clone Wars and Rebels together.
You gave them hope in their darkest times. We didn't want that hope to die.
Ahsoka's story was central to the Clone Wars, and much to the delight of fans, she was brought back older and wiser to play a prominent supporting role in Rebels.
Why are you doing this?
The Council didn't trust me. So how can I trust myself?
And in news that almost seemed too good to be true when it was announced, Ahsoka's finally making her jump to live-action television in the second season of The Mandalorian. Proving that fan casting can come true, she's also set to be played by none other than Rosario Dawson.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
Then I will avenge his death.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.